Hey, this is Mr. Weisfeld. Let's go over the standard for the PS1 linear motion. First of all, the standard here has an objective. You're to define and calculate average velocity and average acceleration, analyze data you've taken from an experiment and your observations, and do that in quantitative, graphical, or verbal means. What we mean by that has certain levels. So at level 1, so for a 1.0 grade on this standard, you'd want to define speed, acceleration, velocity, displacement, distance, and motion. And included with that would be which one's a vector, which one's a scalar, how do you calculate those. Then units for measurement. What are the units for speed or velocity or displacement? What are the units for acceleration? Then, can you read a chart or a graph with that data in it? Can you make sense of that? So that's level 1, those 3 tasks. If you can accomplish those successfully, you get a 1.0 on the standard. Building graphs appropriately for level 2, and then identifying simple motion in graphs. So I give you a graph. If it's labeled, tell me what type of graph it is. Is it distance versus time? Is it velocity versus time? What does a flat line mean in this graph? So constant velocity, constant acceleration, constant displacement, all of those things. You should be able to then take the words that describe a graph, and if I give you the words, draw a graph for me. That's all for level 2 in this standard. Then level 3, you should be able to solve for average velocity and acceleration. So for instance, if I run 100 meters in 20 seconds, what is my average velocity? Likewise, if I run 100 meters and my final velocity is 2 meters per second, what's my average velocity? What's my average acceleration? Also, interpreting the motion of a distance, velocity, acceleration versus time graph. What's the slope on a distance versus time graph? Can you calculate that? Can you tell me what that means? Likewise, for the slope of a velocity versus time graph, can you calculate that? Can you tell me what that means physically? So the slope of velocity versus time graph is acceleration, for instance. And then can you describe the motion of an object? If I give you a graph, can you tell me what the motion of an object is in the real world? Those are both for level 3 in this standard. And then can you convert between these using dimensional analysis for level 4 in this standard linear motion? This was a discussion of the objective and the learning progression for PS1 linear motion.